And 2015 was the hottest on record, and 2016 is shaping up to be even hotter. So what this means is that 15 out of the 16 hottest years on record may occur this century. And in case you didn't know, there's only been 16 years this century. The issue I have with that information is that some of those hottest years occurred before I could even walk or speak. The United Nations released a report through the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change on global warming in 2001, which at one point stated, and I quote, "Observations show Earth's surface is warming. Globally, the 1990s are very likely the warmest decade in instrumental record. Atmospheric concentrations of greenhouse gases have increased substantially." This was 2001. I and many of my peers were only 2 years old. Yet we have become the generation that will live through the melting of the ice caps, acidification of our oceans, deforestation of our rainforests, and if current scientific models are correct, and I live long enough, it is possible that the temperature of the Adirondacks will closely resemble that of West Virginia within my lifetime. What scares me is that if I have kids, they might not think that the snowless Christmas we had last year is unique or out of the ordinary. I'm not saying all this to guilt the adults gathered here. Well, actually, I am trying to guilt you guys, but I'm not trying to guilt your generations for past actions or inactions. I know people today who are skeptical in the past of climate science, but understand the dire situation we are in, and that's fine. Rather, I'm trying to guilt you into future actions. Because despite all this doom and gloom, I can assure you of something. My generation is stepping up to the challenge. We are the first generation to feel the effects of climate change, and the last ones who can do anything about it. I was asked to speak today because I'm one of the members of the Wild Center's Youth Climate Program. This means that I was one of the students who helped plan, implement, and organize the Adirondack Youth Climate Summit held at the Wild Center, which occurred just this last Thursday and Friday. The summit brings together around 300 students from all over the North Country and beyond, from 27 different high schools and colleges, from Saranac Lake, Lake Placid, Tupper Lake, Gouverneur, Plattsburgh, Colton, Pierpont, and much more local schools. It had students from Boston, Minneapolis, UVM, St. Lawrence University, Paul Smith, and Cornell. The students coming to the summit are not coming to learn specifically about climate science. Instead, they are learning about what they can do to stop it. Throughout the conference, they listened to speakers like National Geographic explorers, climate educators, the man that led the MIT divestment campaign, organization leaders, hip-hop artists, local farmers, and so much more, with the end result being a climate action plan that the students will bring back to their schools and communities. The past projects that came out of this summit are inspiring and continue to amaze me. At Saranac Lake, we held a carbon-neutral prom, tried to ban plastic bags within the town, sold solar panels door to door, and got our village to sign the I Am Pro Snow First initiative. Plattsburgh has built a cell phone charging station. Keene has created a composting system. Lake Placid has built a biodiesel converter. The list goes on and on. While many of us can't drive and almost none of us can vote, we are doing all we can to change the world. We've presented to the APA, local school boards, and village councils. The reason that youth are trying to make a difference is because, remember that report I mentioned earlier? I learned about that through a homework assignment in a public high school. We are educated and ready to change the world, and by world, I mean world. The Youth Climate Summit has created a toolkit that allows other areas to make their own summit, and it is spread all over, from the Catskills, UVM, Detroit, Seattle, Finland, and with one being planned in the New York capital region, as well as, and this is really exciting, Sri Lanka Youth Climate Summit 2017. All these students bring their own perspectives to this challenge we face. Students are educated, motivated, and bring their ideas and plans back to their families and communities, hopefully starting a chain reaction of awareness. These summits empower youth to make a difference and is the perfect model of a grassroots movement on a global scale. Change is coming in the form of climate change, but also, I can assure you, the youth of this world will change the way it is fought. That I am confident of. Thank you. As was mentioned earlier, we have a petition from Saranac Lake students. We're hoping to possibly bring it to the Saranac Lake village or town in the future, saying that we want Saranac Lake to pledge to 100% renewable energy sources. Also, there is a film called The Last Chance being shown tonight at 5 and tomorrow at 5 at the Palace Theater. It's created by a Beekmantown student, Everett Sapp, and it focuses on our loss of snow. And I've seen a preview and it seems pretty great, so go check that out. Thank you.